The set ended, and Sid motioned me to follow him, and with my legs a bit unsteady and my heart beating rapidly, I did. We entered Sam's dressing room to see him with his band and 5 or 6 men and women just drinking and talking. Sam, sweating profusely, got up and embraced Sid, who then introduced him to me. He asked me whether I liked the show, and I could hardly speak. He looked at Sid and laughed. I guess you did, man. That's fine. How old are you? I'll be 17 in October. Old enough, man. And he laughed again. Have something to drink or eat. Hey, Cliff, he called to his guitar player. That there is Cliff, Norman, and Cliff, this here is Norman. Take care of him. No thanks, Sam, Sid said. I got to get back out there. I'll catch you the second set. I'm with this old man and a few other people, but I'll see you tomorrow. Cool, man. See you tomorrow. Come back anytime, he said to me. Walking back to the table, I asked Sid if I could go with him tomorrow. It's okay with me if it's okay with your old man. And with some struggle, I convinced my father to let me go. Why he decided to do that, I'll never ever know. I remember one of my father's friends saying to him, this joint is the biggest money maker next to the Copa. I met Sid about 7 or 8 times over the next couple of weeks, and he took me to hear and see Sam. One night in his dressing room, he must have noticed me staring at the women who were lounging around. Sid was on a couch talking to one of them. His hand was on her thigh. He came and sat next to me, looked at me and smiled. He says, you get any pussy yet, Norm? I looked at him a bit incredulously, and I must have blushed. Nah, he said, take it easy, man. Take it easy. I'm serious, man. You get any pussy? But I could see the twinkle in his eye. Yeah, I got some. You bullshitting me, man? You don't have to do that. And he smiled again. No, man, I'm not bullshitting you. I got some. I did. But I was 13. It was no big thing. Didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Well, he said, you're going to get a lot of pussy. But you got to watch it, man. That pussy like a drug. It's good, better than good. But shit, it can kill you too. You better watch out. Right, Sid? And then he laughed that beautiful, high, sweet laugh he had. I was usually able to sit at the bar, sipping a club soda and just observe. With no real parameters, I could look, though not stare, at what was around me. Faces, old and young, gradations of brown. A few white, mostly blonde women, always accompanied by black men, who took their time strolling to the stool or table that was waiting for them. Men with scars, some thin as razors, others keloid, a deep brown. Some mouths open to smile, a grin showing 1 or 2 gold teeth. I looked at the women as much. I saw frosted hair permed over golden brown faces with blue or violet eyeshadow, and red, orange, and pink lips glistening, and tongues pink and pointed rounding the lips of glasses. They wore suits and dresses, high heels, some gowns and hats and knotted ties bright with colors. At times I saw conversations turn rotten with disappointment or worse, she flinging a pocketbook over her shoulder and turning and going out the door and into the night without looking back. The man would turn to the bartender and they'd exchange looks, saying the inevitability of men and women getting it wrong or right is the way of the world. Years later, they would close the town hill, claiming prostitution. The talk was that they just didn't pay the cops enough. The owners had said fuck them and just put a lock on the door. A year later, we were invited to hear Sam at his opening night at the Copacabana in New York City, July 1964. We went into his dressing room before and after the show. He was as great as before, though a little more toned down, probably because of the type of place and crowd he was playing to. Sometime later, 6 months or a year, I think, he was shot dead by what the authorities said was a woman who owned the motel they found him in. However, he was in that hotel with an Eurasian woman who took a while to find her. And his clothes, most of them were off, were strewn around the room and his body. They never found most of his clothes, and they didn't find either the thousands of dollars that he was said to carry almost at all times. I still have in my wallet his signature on a $5 cover charge card from the Town Hill. It's simply part of me.